Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Beardman Reviews. And today I will be talking about the new album by Swedish gent band Vildhjarta. This album is entitled, I believe I'm pronouncing this correct, Måsstaden under Vatten. I believe that's how you say it. But and I know I've been making several music reviews lately, and no movie or video game reviews, and that is not intentional. There's just been so many great albums that I felt like I've had to talk about lately. But later on this week or early next week, my dad and I will be seeing the new Halloween movie, and I will be making a review on that. But for now, guys, let's talk about this album. Guys. So first off, this album is one of the longest slash most brutal albums I've heard in a long time. This album is very sludgy. It's like walking in a tar pit, or walking in cement just as it's starting to thicken up. It's very slow. It's very heavy, and the production on this album is fantastic. It really makes the riffs have such a punch and such an impact. This is Vildhjarta's first album with only one vocalist. This Wilhelm Bladden, I believe that's how you say his name, and is the only vocalist left. Seeing as how Daniel left back in 2018, I think it was. And honestly, Wilhelm's low vocals are really good. His high screams are not quite on the same level as his lows, but they're still solid, but they're not great. But Wilhelm uses mostly low vocals on this album. The clean vocals every now and then that he does are also really solid for the sound. This guy's clean vocals aren't Freddie Mercury or nothing, but he's still really solid for the genre. The guitars are heavily downtuned. When I was listening to this album, I really haven't had a djenty album this heavy since Meshuggah's 2016 album, The Violent Sleep of Reason. And that album was a monstrous, huge, heavy, a technical album that I just loved. And I still love that album. But that album clocked in at 50 or 60 minutes. This album clocks in at 80. So it does get a little bit old. 80 whole minutes is a long time. And in order to fulfill that full entire 80 whole minutes, you have to have, in my personal opinion, you have to have lots of variety. And Vildhjarta, as great as they are, they really don't have that much variety in their sound. but with their a particular brand of progressive metal slash gent, you really don't need that much of variety, to entertain your fan base. But I feel as if this album on physical release is two separate discs, and I feel as if they should have separated those discs into two separate albums, and that would have been a little bit easier to digest. Maybe Måsstaden, under Vatten parts 1 and 2, separate them. That might have been a little bit easier to listen to. But at any rate, this is still a very solid album. The drummer is still very good, but this man has a lot of variety between doing really slow and a technical double bass is to doing very clean a 16th notes, to also doing extremely fast blast beats, as illustrated by the song Sunrise, Sunset, Sunrise, Sunset, and the 10-minute closing track Paradiso. In terms of negatives on this album, I already said them. 80 minutes is a bit too long for their sound, in my opinion, and also the last song is still really good, but it's a 10-minute closing track, and 10 minutes of their sound is just, again, it kind of gets a little bit old, if I am being perfectly honest. But this is still a very heavy, very solid album. That I will give a 7 out of 10. So yeah, guys, that's it. Måsstaden under Vatten by Vildhjarta. 7 out of 10. And I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Alright, guys. Bye.